not have goosebumps. After that, you do not have a pulse. Joining me now is Stephen Vogt, who has wasted no time getting off of the field as a player, getting right into a coaching position. But before we get into the M's new coaching position, Stephen, welcome to the show. What gave you more goosebumps? Hearing your kids say your name over the public address announcement or hitting that home run?
Well, first of all, thanks for having me. But that day was all goosebumps from the beginning, right up till the end. It was the Oakland A's. What a wonderful tribute they did, and to hear my kids announce me, I was tearing up when I was in the box, and just so much, family. My wife Alyssa and my kids have been such a big part of everything that I've accomplished on the field, and it's just so neat to have them there, and to hear them announce our dad is everything you want, to share this with your kids, and then to end your career with a home run, knowing it's your last at bat. I still haven't really come down from that.
Now, did you know that Peyton, Clark, and Bennett were going to do that before you stepped into the box, or was that a surprise when you actually heard their voices when you were getting ready for your at bat?
A little bit of both. Thankfully, I caught wind of it the day before. Otherwise, I would have been a complete wreck. But I kind of forgot in the moment that it was going to happen, because it was, you're going up there to face Shohei Ohtani and get locked into your at bat, and all of a sudden I hear their voices come over the PA. And so there was a little bit of surprise when it did happen. But I did know it was coming, thankfully, so I didn't have to try and hit with actual tears in my eyes.
Okay, your first major league hit was a home run. Your last major league hit was a home run. It's been an incredible career in between those two at-bats. What's the one thing, if you can summarize, Stephen, that you take away from your time as a big leaguer?
Oof, one thing is tough, but I think for me it was whatever role I was given, I took it and made the most of it. I've been everything from a platoon catcher to an everyday player, to a complete backup, to the 26th man on the roster, you name it. I've had every role you can have in this game. And whatever that role was, I took it and tried to make the most of it. I tried to earn more time. I tried to fulfill that role to the best of my ability. And, I wasn't always the greatest player, been one of the worst players in the league, been right up there with some of the best in the league. And so for me, it was just taking whatever role I had in that moment and trying to make the most of it.
So many people would kill for one day at the big league level, Stephen, and you did it for 10 seasons. And you just told me that you tried to make the most of every opportunity. And something stuck out when I found out you were retiring. But your former teammate, and I'm assuming a friend, Dallas Braden, had this to say. He put it on Twitter. The last day that you were ever going to be in a big league uniform, you were out there catching bullpens. And he really recognized your hard work throughout all of what you did. You want a role model? Look no further than Stephen Vogt. This man will retire tomorrow. He will never put on another pair of shin guards or chest protector. And yet you're out there taking ground balls and doing the work that needs to be done. Why was that so important for you, to be that guy?
To me, it's part of being a professional. It's doing your job every day. One game left in the season and you're out of it. It doesn't matter if it's the first day of the season. You got to put your work in. And that was something that I'm proud of. I did my entire career. And on top of that, Alana, I was the type of player that had to practice. I had to keep working. I had to learn new things to stick around. And I didn't always have the most talent. I never took one day for granted. And that was one of the things that I wanted to finish strong with. And especially as you get older in your career, you're trying to be an example for the younger players. And when you preach that hard work and putting in the time will help and it'll pay off, if you're not going out and doing the work yourself, you're just words. You're not actions. And so for me, it's good accountability for me when I tell people, hey, you need to go work every day, because then that keeps pushing me to have to do my work. And one of the things that I will never take for granted is I got to play Major League Baseball till I was 37, almost 38 years old. And I had to keep working to fend off the young guys trying to come take the job, right? And that was something that you got to figure out a way to stick. You got to figure out a way to hang, because there's always somebody better, stronger, faster, and younger than you. So what are you going to do to separate yourself from the rest of the group? And that's something that I really took to heart, especially in the latter part of my career.
Now the Seattle Mariners quality control and bullpen coach. Why was it so important for you, Stephen, to get right into coaching after you decided to retire as a player?
Well, I really wanted to stay in the game. I wasn't sure in what capacity or what way, shape, or form, and I didn't know what opportunities were going to come my way. But as I was talking with teams about possible jobs for next year, it just became more and more clear to me that I wanted to stay in uniform and I wanted to stay in the clubhouse and on the field and be able to work with guys and help them learn faster than I did. And I think that's one of the things I was fortunate to learn a lot over the course of my career. And if I can help one person learn something quicker than I did, then I've done my job. So I'm really, really excited and honored to be joining the Seattle Mariners organization and that coaching staff. And I'm really excited to get to Arizona and get going.
All right. Well, former catchers make phenomenal managers at the big league level. Perhaps this is the first step into that. Stephen Vogt retiring after 10 seasons. We appreciate your time. Congratulations on a wonderful career and best of luck on the coaching track.
Thanks, Alana. I really appreciate it.
All right. Coming up.
September were a lot like the Diamondbacks. Very dangerous. And who can forget they swept the Mets at Citi Field, and maybe the Mets can look back at that and find out that's why they had to play San Diego in the wild card round. Ian Happ, of course, had a heck of a year, outfielder for Chicago, getting ready for a little golf. We'll get to that, too. Ian, nice to talk. Christopher Russo, how are you today, okay?
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
You that's quite a home run off the ground. My goodness, you crushed that. And you had any home run success against him in previous at-bats, or is that your first?
I only faced him one time before, but it was a good battle. It was probably 7-pitch at bat. We got to 3-2, fouled off a pretty nasty slider right before that, and was able to get a handle on that pitch. But we had 3 good battles in that game, and he's a lot of fun to compete against.
There you go. And you had a heck of a year. And I tell you, the Cubs were very good late in the year. I mean, forget the additions. We'll get to that next. But, boy, Ian, I thought the Cubbies really played really well month of September. Good spoiler. Brewers and everything else. Good spoiler situation for your franchise. How about the ball club last year at late? Let me hear.
Yeah, I mean, we were able to play really well in a series against the Phillies and the Mets there down the stretch. Our pitching was fantastic. It really was. It carried us. Starting pitching was great. Bullpen was awesome down the stretch, and we had a lot of guys who were playing their first full season, getting in a rhythm there, and it was really nice to be able to score some runs. And you're right, play spoiler a little bit.
You did 12 of your last 15 the Cubs won, folks, in September last year. There you have it. And you've been busy, and you got to be happy. I mean, you added some pitching, some offense. Obviously, Swanson is shortstop. Team is moving back into the competitive scenario where you can compete in this division. You got to be happy with this offseason. Spent a lot of money. Let me get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, we added a lot of guys who have been really productive, big leaguers, and who have done a lot of really awesome things in their careers. We got guys who have won World Series in different places, guys that have had been All-Stars, Gold Glovers, Gold Glovers all over the field right now, which is really cool. But, the team's going to pitch it, really going to pick it on defense, and I think the offense is going to surprise a few people. So I'm really excited to play with a bunch of these guys that I've played against for a long time, but to be able to share the clubhouse, pick their brains and get their experiences as well is going to be pretty fun.
Do you like the outfield or infield better defensively?
I'm not going to pick one. I'm part of the outfield, so I'm excited for Belly and I to play next to each other out there. Obviously, he's a Gold Glover and has the ability to really go get it, so I think that'll be a lot of fun. But those two guys, Dansby and Nico up the middle, is going to be a pretty special combo. And then obviously Haas has four Gold Gloves, and then you have Trey Mancini bouncing in now too. So I'm really excited to see kind of how Rossi puts it together. But there's good defense all over the ballpark.
Yeah, sure is. And I know sometimes the infielders love to be involved in every play. You get a little bored out there in the outfield. Ian will deal with that. Now, I want to talk about this golf. I love the format with these LPGA players here in Orlando. They obviously, 72 holes, no cut. For you guys, it's a little different. Give me a little, and I know last year, I forget who won it, but last year, a lot of good golfers who are baseball players and celebrities. Give me your thoughts on the format for the celeb. Go ahead.
Yeah, I'm excited for the 4-day event. I've done a couple events, usually with a partner, usually more 2-day events. So to have 4 days with your own ball, There's a lot more pressure on every shot. This is the first time I've played in this event. First time I got the invite. I thank Johnny Lester for helping me get that done. But I'm super excited to play a bunch of guys, either that I played with or friends of John who played together in Boston. A bunch of those guys that I've hung out with through teammates. So I'm excited to see everybody and be able to hang out.
All right, Derek Lowe won last year. So you play your own ball, Ian, 4 straight days?
Yeah, you play your own ball, point system, based on pars, birdies, eagles, and it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm getting the game dialed in. Going to go play a practice round in an hour or so and try to get it all tightened up.
So that's a good point. Listen, hit a bare tee shot, you throw away the hole, who cares? And you're going to try to get as many birdies as you possibly can, because if you do that point system, you got to score. The whole idea is to get birdies and pars. If you get a double bogey once in a while, not that big a deal. Medalists play that kills you, not in this event. So I would think that's fun. You can throw out the 2 or 3 bad holes and focus in on getting birdies as much as you can, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's a double limit, so you can't shoot more than a double on any hole. You do get, you lose points for bogeys and doubles, but the name of the game is birdies, and being pretty aggressive and rolling some of those in. So I'm going to try to hit the putting green today and see if I can get the putter working before Thursday.
All right, now I know a lot of guys get nervous in that first tee. You got some people watching. You're playing with LPGA, pro players. And I know you hit home runs in 35,000. The last thing you want to do is dribble one or lose it in the woods on the first hole on the first tee ball here when you do it on Thursday. So you're a little nervous? Let me hear. Go ahead.
I will definitely be nervous, yeah, and no doubt about that. There'll be the butterflies. It's different. I've done a few of these. And it's different than stepping in the box. That's what we do for a living. It's like asking if anybody gets nervous walking into the office. The baseball stuff is more normal for us. Playing golf, having to hit a golf shot in front of people is a lot more stressful. So I'm sure there'll be a couple, 5-foot knee knockers and definitely some nerves on the first tee, but looking forward to getting into it and being able to just enjoy playing golf for 4 days.
There you go. It's a lot of fun for you. Your own ball, birdies, and everything else. And then, of course, out to Arizona, and away you go with the Cubbies. Ian, thanks for a few. Keep up the good work. Hit them straight this weekend. Appreciate you coming on.
Yep, thank you.
You got it. Good job with Mr. App. That's a good event down there in